los coños black de mí te tengo
We've mostly been doing daily picks and stuff like that, so we figured we'd mix in some yearly stuff. So we're going to tell you just a couple players, just with our opinion, that maybe you should go try to trade for because they should be a little cheaper right now, or players that have been really doing well that you might want to just trade away and try to get somebody that has been struggling.
Or someone struggling that you want to get rid of.
Yeah, so for my trade for, might have been better to do it after the draft of week 1 because now he's only out for, I think, 2 more games. So you can still try to get him. But Doug Martin, I mean, I do like Jacquizz Rodgers, and but I still think, I mean, you get fresh legs of Doug Martin. I think they're literally going to be playing 16 consecutive games.
Yeah.
I mean, so you're looking at a guy that at least had 4 straight weeks off. I mean, he looked really good preseason. I read good reports on him, and when he's healthy, he's a beast.
Yes.
So, I mean, I think you could trade him. If somebody wants to be, say that they want more for him, just throw Jacquizz out there and be like, look, Jacquizz probably going to keep the job anyway.
Yeah.
So him, this is all dependent on the health and if they even let him play this year, but Andrew Luck and T.Y. Hilton, I think if you're in a season-long league and say that you're 2-0 right now, you're 2-0, you don't really have much else to lose, and you could try to get rid of a couple bench players for these guys. I mean, if you were to get Andrew Luck and T.Y. Hilton, because T.Y. Hilton goes with Luck. Without Luck, T.Y. Hilton, I mean, he's still a good wide receiver, but he's just not nearly as good. So I think if you were able to get him and say he comes back week 6, week 7, I mean, if you get half a season of a healthy Andrew Luck, that's probably a top 5 fantasy quarterback from that half season on. Mm-hmm. So I think, I mean, and you already know what T.Y. can do with Luck. Just because I'm a Bengals fan, I mean, we just can't be this bad. I mean, A.J. Green.
He can't be this bad.
I mean, Dalton can be. A.J. can't. So, I mean, A.J. Green, I mean, the man's got to get in the end zone at some point. It has to happen. If you have somebody that's down and still, I mean, Odell didn't really look too great last week, even when he played. I mean, try to get Odell.
This is going to be the time to pull the trigger on him because he's going to get healthy. So
yeah, I mean, at some point he's going to start doing his thing. And, I mean, a lot of that is dependent on if Eli's offensive linemen aren't throwing defenders into him.
Yeah, exactly. So, and you'd like to think that they mix up the offensive line at some point.
And players that I would trade away, I mean, I would look to trade. I mean, C.J. Anderson, as much as I like him, and I mean, he honestly is really, really good when he's healthy. I just don't think he stays healthy the whole year. So, I mean, if you could go get a top player, like, I mean.
And another thing is if Simeon's not going to keep playing like this.
Nah,
so
and that takes, exactly. So, I mean, if you could trade C.J. Anderson and somebody else to say get a Le'Veon Bell, I would pull the trigger.
Absolutely. Anything involving Le'Veon Bell right now, you get.
Well, I hope so. God, you're really screwing me.
No, you pull the trigger. You take your chances with Le'Veon second.
I do like him a lot, and if this is a keeper league, then I wouldn't trade him. But assuming this is just 1 year, I mean, I would trade Carson Wentz and try to get just a more consistent quarterback. But I mean, he could take the step this year. I mean, he is really talented.
And the other thing is, if Janoris Jenkins doesn't play again for the Giants, maybe just keep him for this week and let him, if he goes off again or has the same numbers, then it's even more of a case for you.
For this, I mean, he's getting, say that your league gives 6 points for passing touchdown. He's averaging 25 points per game right now, and I just don't, I don't see it happening. LaShawn McCoy, I mean, maybe should have done that after week 1 when he had a good game, so I don't know.
But it's one of the players, if you just you're not seeing it and you want to get rid of him, you better do it before he keeps having his games.
I mean, maybe you hold on to him one more week, and maybe he has a good week this week, and I would just cut ties.
Yeah.
And then another one, we talked about it last week. I mean, we think that the backup running back, I think it's Foreman, right?
Deontay Foreman.
Yeah. I mean, I think he's going to keep eating into them carries, so I would trade Lamar Miller if you can get anything back for him.
I agree with that one, definitely. That was one of the players I wasn't too high on. Actually said be in my bold predictions. You want to go watch that? Which we could really use it right now.
Somebody wants the last part. Appreciate the 15 viewers.
If you want to go back and watch that, I did say Deontay Foreman would finish better than Lamar Miller. And another thing, going back to McCoy, is plays Denver this week. And you just saw what they just did to Ezekiel Elliott. So,
so you probably missed your time. Sorry.
And I agree with you with Wentz and CJ a little bit. CJ, I'm a big fan of just because
I like him, and he provides fire to that team, and he gets real lit on the field too, and he's doing well. So I hope he stays healthy. My whole reason for saying trade him is I don't think he stays healthy, and I don't think Simeon keeps it up, and they stack the box on the run game.
Yeah, and see, the reason why I love him is because he won a fantasy championship for me. So I always got that little spot in my heart for you, CJ.
What about Matt Ryan?
I hate Matt Ryan. That's the reason why I put the Falcons at 6. Carson Wentz, though, I would agree with you, and I would definitely in keeper league, I would probably keep Carson Wentz. But if Jenkins is out again, I would probably keep him for one more week.
Let him eat this week.
Let him eat, and then it's a divisional matchup, and they cannot run the ball at all. So they're going to have to throw the ball 40 times a game, every single game. And the biggest thing is, I think he had 55 rushing yards this past week.
He's
mobile,
runner.
man. Yeah.
He's a sneaky runner. I mean, he's good. In keeper leagues, I'm absolutely holding on to him.
Yeah, and so those are a couple for the ones I would trade. Some more is Larry Fitz. Right now, Carson Palmer just doesn't.
He got lucky with a good solid fourth quarter against the Colts.
And right now, J.J. Nelson looks like the best wide receiver on that team, and that's saying something for that team. So, continue with the older player
They
trend.
barely beat the Colts. Just think about that.
Continue with the old player trend is Brandon Marshall. Man, we talked about it earlier. I'm not really sure what's going on with him because plays that you usually see him just.
We're talking about a guy that has, I think, 2 different games where he got 20 catches in a game.
He's just usually he's a monster. And going into the season, people was thinking, "Oh damn, Brandon Marshall
with Shepard too."
Oh, come on! But it just doesn't look like the old Brandon Marshall, and you can really. You take the fantasy things out of it, and you take maybe you're a Giants fan, you just take the heartwarming out of it. You just look at the eye test, that does not look like the same Brandon Marshall. It really doesn't, no. And that's heartbreaking to say because he's one of my favorite wide receivers ever too. And the other one is Dez. I think going against Patrick Patterson Peterson, your boy real quick.
Shout out my boy P-Pat.
Going against him this week, I think they're going to do the exact same thing the Broncos did. Stack the line, make Dak beat you, and play probably man-on-man or like a safety over top of Dez with Patterson. So, Peterson.
My thing with Dez, I mean, he did get his touchdown catch. That was one-on-one with
Talib.
Yeah, I always get his name.
Hey, man, Patterson.
Keep Talib. I keep Talib, but
and he's getting the targets. That's one thing.
But my thing is with him, people are still considering him a superstar wide receiver, and he's just not beating people one-on-one.
Yeah.
People aren't even double teaming him. He's just not. He did on that one touchdown catch, but he's just not beating people one-on-one.
And let's not forget, he plays Peterson this week, and then still plays Norman twice. Still plays Jenkins again.
And Janoris Jenkins
looks like he has his number so far.
Clearly.
Those are some players I would trade. Some players I would trade for. I definitely agree with you, AJ Green. This is the time to do it because he was absolutely irate last week, and with a wide receiver like that, Andy Dalton is going to throw it to him.
If he doesn't get 10 plus, not catches, but 10 plus targets this week, I'd be shocked.
Yeah, I think they're going to, and then most likely going to be down by a lot. So, not to add some insult to that, but and some players, some Titans that I would go for is the backfield. Look, if you want to take the chance and get Henry, which I think will end up helping you longer in the season, but you probably wouldn't have to spend as much either. But if you want to buy low on DeMarco Murray, completely understand that. You probably have to give up more for DeMarco Murray, even though he's playing bad so far. I would just right now, I would trade for Henry because I think that injury is gonna open the door for Derrick Henry, and I do not think he's gonna look back once that door opens.
Oh no, we're both big fans of Derrick Henry.
Yeah, so I mean, as much as the Titans just want to give DeMarco the ball and say he's the starter, if Derrick Henry keeps playing the way he did last week, and they want to win and make the playoffs, I do not understand why they wouldn't do it. And that's a team that we went with some playoff expectations too. So. Going with the Bengals again, though, I think Joe Mixon. I think another reason why I'm saying this offensive coordinator change.
I got to see him this week. If I'm this offensive coordinator, I'm throwing the ball to AJ every single time.
Yeah.
And then second, I'm declaring one running back basically for at least the first 2 downs, and that would be Joe Mixon.
Yeah, and that's the biggest thing is that right now he's probably gotten cheaper since your draft to trade for him.
Bigger in keeper leagues though. If you're in a keeper league and somebody just wants to win now, I would snag him.
And I just think if you want to stash him just like Henry, you probably wouldn't have to give up as much. Probably a little bit more because I'm sure someone out there recognizes his worth and his potential, but not as much as you would have to do for someone with his potential and his boom. Man, I think he has top 15 running back potential. Another running back that I'm kind of shaky on in just general in the last few years, but Mark Ingram, I think he's still got his buckets with whatever's going on in their backfield right now, which really no one knows, kind of like Seattle. And I think eventually they ended up getting rid of Adrian Peterson or just don't give him but like 5 carries a game. Which
they're going to have to decide. I mean, it's like the Bengals too. I mean, these teams that are trying to run 3 running backs out there.
It's not going to work,
watch, they're all struggling on offense. I mean,
besides the Patriots, in which they struggled the first week.
But their running backs aren't running except for Gillisley when they get on the 1-yard line. They're just passing it to him.
And another thing with Ingram talking about passing is he's a good receiving back.
Yeah, so, I mean, I don't know why they went and got Peterson, to be fully honest. I love Adrian, but
yeah, it just didn't make sense with what they're looking for. And I think Kamara, if I'm saying his name right, is someone that is fully capable of being a good second running back. So, and with the Saints, another one is Michael Thomas. So far hasn't played good, but he also played the Vikings week 1, which is really good defense, and then played the Patriots. Also really good corners, whether it looked like it in the first week or not. Yeah. They actually do have good corners. And I just think he's going to show his worth eventually. And his schedule's going to get easier. The Panthers this week, I think obviously that gets easier. And I'm a believer in his talent, and I'm a believer in Drew Brees, which obviously no one should even doubt Drew Brees right now.
Ever.
And this is the biggest one. The people out there that are doing this, I got one question for you. What are you doing, man? Are you trying to lose? Why would you trade Le'Veon Bell? But there are some people out there that are trying to trade Le'Veon Bell.
And if you have one of those owners, trade for him.
Oh, my God.
Go ahead and take that.
Yeah, pull that in a
You can trade a second-round player that you got for him. Do it.
Oh, my God. Do it in a heartbeat. Literally, if you have to give up 2 solid running backs, you have to give up C.J. Anderson and I don't even know, someone like I don't even know at this point.
Just 2 solid running backs.
Joe Mixon or McCaffrey, someone who's not really done anything but has the potential. Do it, man.
No, I agree.
Do it, because
this has got to be the cheap. I mean, the man's got to go off at some point.
Yeah, and listen, the Browns one, I didn't understand that one at all. But I could also understand if they're like, we're going to ease him into a little bit, not give him as many carries.
He got back to his touches last week. I mean, it didn't result in anything great, but he got back to his touches. And if they're going to continuously let him touch the ball that much.
27 times.
I mean,
27 times.
Yeah, he's going to.
I guess the Bears 27 times?
Please give it to him 27 times.
I will bet my life on it that he has over 100 yards and a touchdown this week if he gets the ball 27 times. And if he has the ball 25 plus times, I will bet my life on it. And if anybody wants my life, you'll literally have it. You just got to comment or subscribe or like.
Show us some love or hate.
Do it, man. And the owners that are trying to get rid of Le'Veon Bell, I question your will to win. Do you want to win? I'm assuming your fantasy league. I'm assuming your fantasy league is for money. What are you doing? If someone offers you Kareem Hunt and Mixon or McCaffrey, I completely understand because that's a great deal, and you got 2 top 10 potentially running backs. But at the same time, bro, Kareem Hunt's not going to get buckets like this every single week.
I don't know. He might.
He might, but
he just might.
But 20 plus every single week.
He just might.
I'm gonna go with Le'Veon Bell in that. But I could understand if you want to do that trade. If you want to do that one, I understand.
I mean, see, in one season, I probably still would. But if you're in a keeper, I'd keep Hunt.
Yeah. Okay. I can understand.
It's still iffy, but
Yeah, I'm still going.
You could
Le'Veon
argue
Bell.
both ways. You could argue both.